Hey, adrenaline junkies, welcome back. What you're about to see isn't scripted, it isn't staged, and it definitely isn't safe. This is raw police body cam footage where one bad decision turns into a chain reaction of chaos, sirens, and split-second judgment calls. Stay locked in, because once this starts, there's no pause button.
Trooper Matthew Price was on a routine traffic stop when he was notified about the pursuit of a stolen truck. He quickly returned to his patrol car and joined the chase as the secondary unit.
Speed's 100. To a red light. Traffic's light. Clear left, clear right. I think it looks like a rental truck. Speed's 90. Old Concord. 21's trying to move up for a bit.
Yeah, well, Concord.
Speed's 100. We're coming up to city limits now.
As the primary trooper in the pursuit accelerated, the suspect slowed down, giving the trooper behind the opportunity to execute a pit maneuver. However, the suspect somehow regained control and continued fleeing.
If we want to take a little break off, maybe just slow down some and we'll just try to get until you get there. If you find the safe space to bid, go ahead if you slow down.
Coming up to exit 20.
Okay, boy, exit 22 on 54.
Yeah, we're eastbound on 64. Coming towards Mulberry.
Okay, boy, eastbound 54 coming in Mulberry.
We continued on past the Dollar General. Speed's 85. 21, you're going to have to get up here. Earl Lane, it looks like Earl Lane.
Troopers were close to ending the chase several times, but the suspect always managed to recover. However, the troopers remained determined, giving their best to stop the suspect.
He's passing somebody on the right shoulder. Speed's 100. Past the Mulberry. Okay, roll over from correction. You got to pit it out. Pit it out.
Finally, the trooper executed pit maneuver that successfully stopped the suspect. The suspect and passengers were both arrested and taken into custody, bringing this wild chase to an end.
Good job, guys.
On March 3rd, 2023, Arkansas State Patrol was involved in a pursuit of a stolen GMC Sierra. Upon locating the stolen vehicle, the trooper activated lights and sirens, but the suspect failed to stop, initiating the chase.
Speed's 93. Call it 420.
Successful pit. Successful pit.
I got no response. Open the door and step out with your hands out. Hands, both hands, step out. Turn around, face away from us. Walk back.
This chase didn't last long as Trooper executed a pit maneuver right away when the road cleared. The suspect vehicle spun out in a clockwise motion, leaving the roadway and striking a guardrail, disabling the vehicle. Troopers Fultz was able to safely perform a felony takedown of the driver. Once in custody, the driver was identified as Jeremiah Green. He was charged with theft by receiving, fleeing, speeding more than 15 over, reckless driving, and no driver's license. Police report that an officer attempted to pull over a driver for a suspected traffic violation near Missouri 150 and East Outer Road. But when the driver refused to stop, a pursuit was quickly underway. At 12:35 p.m., the driver lost control of the SUV, causing it to flip over. Thrown from the vehicle, he ended up in a nearby ditch. Video shows the officer rushing to the scene, searching for the driver before finding him and performing chest compressions. A nurse and her husband who witnessed the crash also stopped to provide crucial aid until paramedics arrived. The pursuit began as following a shots fired call in Flint City, Genesee County. Officers responded to the area and made contact with multiple residents, investigating the shooting incident. During their patrol, officers identified a white Dodge Charger with a cracked windshield and no license plate, which was believed to be involved in the shooting. Around Ballinger Highway and Flushing Road, the officers located the suspect vehicle stopped at a traffic light. They initiated a traffic stop, but the driver, later identified as Tyree Nazrael Parker, fled, initiating a pursuit.
Dodge Charger, no plate, cracked windshield, matched the description of the shooting vehicle. Joiner. Now just continuing University. Looks like a single black male occupant, approaching Chevrolet right now. Westbound 8.
Westbound 8.
During the pursuit, Tyree Nazrael Parker drove at a dangerously high rate of speed, showing complete disregard for his surroundings. His reckless driving made it incredibly difficult for officers to keep up with him. Despite the troopers' efforts, Parker's excessive speed and erratic maneuvers put both law enforcement and innocent drivers at significant risk. The chase was intense, and the troopers had to be highly cautious, especially when trying to safely close the distance without escalating the dangerous situation.
Westbound Santa Barbara. Here's headlights, no taillights. Still westbound Santa Barbara. What is there? Coming up to Canterbury Lane. Eastbound.
As the chase intensified, Trooper Whipple executed a pit maneuver, rotating the suspect's vehicle. However, the suspect quickly regained control and accelerated, continuing to flee at high speed. Another trooper briefly took over as the primary unit in the pursuit, but Trooper Whipple quickly regained primary control of the pursuit.
Maneuver attempt. Looks like you might be trying to get on southbound 75. Or am I at speed-wise? 55, 40, 40, 38.
Looks like we got...
He's running, holding his waistband.
Yep, black male, white hoodie, running across the freeway.
Black male, white.
After the second successful pit maneuver, the suspect's vehicle finally came to a stop. Without hesitation, Tyree Parker exited the vehicle and began fleeing on foot. However, his escape was short-lived. Officers quickly apprehended him, and he was taken into custody without further incident. Parker was later transported to the Genesee County Jail, where he faced a range of serious charges, including fleeing and eluding, felon in possession of a firearm, discharging a firearm from a moving vehicle, and several other offenses. His reckless actions ultimately led to his arrest, and the pursuit came to a close. 2023, Conway police were chasing a black Dodge Charger eastbound on Interstate 40. As the chase neared Crystal Hill, Arkansas State Trooper Carrie Perminer took over as primary. But when her lights and sirens failed, another trooper moved in. Speeds hit 120 miles per hour as the suspect weaved through traffic and even used the shoulder to pass vehicles.
Probably going 40 west.
40 west.
40 east.
Taking 40 east.
Passing on my shoulder. About to get on 40 east. Trying to take the on-ramp.
The chase quickly spiraled out of control. Even with multiple units involved, the suspect kept creating chaos on the interstate. Moments later, another trooper moved in and took over as the primary unit.
Secondary. Four's gonna be secondary, 40 east. JFK, speeds 112.
When the Charger exited toward JFK, the trooper seized the moment, performing a flawless pit maneuver right in front of the old North Little Rock Police Department.
We're going to be taking JFK. Take JFK.
The driver, identified as Corey Simmons, bailed out and ran, but a short-foot chase ended with him in handcuffs. After resisting arrest, one quick strike was all it took for him to comply. Simmons was medically cleared and taken into custody. Is known for having some of the strictest speeding laws in the country, with fines that can reach over $1,000 for extreme speeding. And on February 18, 2022, Trooper Freeman clocked a white Chevrolet speeding down the highway. He lit it up, but the driver didn't think twice, hitting the gas and making it clear he had no intention of stopping.
1037 Roy.
Well, everybody in that church for Adam 33, 630 east, and 430 Gladys Hall. And we're taking John Barrow Street 90.
Take Hanks going with
up on that.
Passing in the left lane.
The suspect pushed the Chevy to over 100 miles per hour, driving like he owned the road, nearly causing a collision in the process.
If you can't, go ahead and hit them when it takes to do so.
Get back on 630.
I'll be getting back on 630. We are past the PDA.
Trooper Freeman finally caught up and executed a pit at 120 miles per hour, spinning the suspect's vehicle. He followed up with another pit, bringing it to a complete stop. The suspect was pulled from the car and taken into custody without further incident. It was later confirmed that the vehicle was stolen, adding even more charges to an already long list. On September 10, 2022, Arkansas state troopers were engaged in the pursuit of a Ford SUV when additional assistance was requested. Trooper Jacob Bird, renowned for his skills and known as one of the best in the force, promptly responded to the call. Within minutes, Trooper Bird joined the pursuit, ready to assist in bringing the situation under control.
Going west. Going west on 20th Street.
While attempting to catch up with the suspect, Trooper Bird unfortunately struck a dog with his patrol car. The exact condition of the dog is unknown as the pursuit continued uninterrupted.
Going west on Charles Bussy. West on Charles Bussy.
And passing Tyler. Crossing over there.
10-4, we're going south on Whitmore. I'm primary. I'm trying to get that big street. South on Fillmore. Secondary. I don't know if they're calling.
After some time, Trooper Bird finally closed the distance and assumed the role of the primary unit in the pursuit, taking the lead in the effort to bring the suspect to a stop.
Black male running north, start west on 28, black shirt, plaid pants running toward ULR. The car looks clear. He's still running. Get on your face! Get on your face! Put your hand.
Trooper Bird executed a precise pit maneuver, stopping the suspect's vehicle. The suspect then exited the vehicle and fled on foot, demonstrating not only exceptional driving skills but also impressive athleticism. Trooper Bird chased the suspect down on foot, catching and arresting him. The suspect was taken into custody, officially bringing the high-stakes pursuit to an end. Let us know in the comments if you think Trooper Bird deserves the title of the best Arkansas State Trooper. On May 6, 2022, an Arkansas State Trooper was conducting a routine traffic stop when the driver, who failed to provide a driver's license, was instructed to exit the vehicle. Instead of cooperating, the driver accelerated, fleeing the stop and initiating a pursuit. And as anyone knows, fleeing from an Arkansas state trooper is never a good idea. The trooper stayed close behind the vehicle, assessing the situation. Realizing the driver had no intention of stopping, he prepared to execute the pit maneuver. The message in this video is clear: never flee from law enforcement, because you might end up just like this driver. The trooper executed the pit maneuver, sending the suspect's vehicle into a ditch. The suspect then exited the vehicle and fled on foot, but was quickly apprehended and taken into custody, bringing the chase to an end. Trooper Robbie Stewart was finishing up a routine traffic stop when a vehicle sped past him. Quickly getting back into his patrol car, he observed a black Pontiac with no license plate. With lights and sirens activated, the trooper attempted to stop the vehicle, but the driver failed to yield, initiating a pursuit.
B3 to 498, 1024. Near Acres Road, black Pontiac G6, no 28.
At first, the trooper wasn't sure if the driver would pull over, but it quickly became clear that he was in a pursuit. The trooper immediately informed dispatch that he was in pursuit of the vehicle.
Summit Ridge. Right out.
Hey! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands!
The driver struck a tree with the front of the vehicle, causing it to rotate clockwise. Troopers quickly exited their patrol cars and arrested the driver without further incident.
Get on your stump. Get on your stump. Get on your stump. Head right back.
Robert Stewart, I'm state police trooper. Stopping you for no tags. Why are you running from me?
Because we're in the FCTC court.
I don't know what that is.
Family court treatment center, trying to get my kids back.
Well, this didn't make it any better. Okay?
On August 30th, 2023, Trooper Kendrick Davis was stationary when he observed a driver fail to stop at a stop sign. The trooper got behind the vehicle and activated his lights and sirens, but the driver refused to stop, initiating a pursuit. The driver extended his hand out of the window, signaling as if he was going to pull over when the trooper got closer. However, the trooper didn't fall for the trick and executed a pit maneuver, successfully stopping the vehicle. The driver was arrested and taken into custody without further incident. On May 26, 2022, a yellow Chevy truck led Arkansas State Trooper Andrew Alt on a pursuit down a remote dirt road in the middle of nowhere.
I got one fella to stop here for Adam Boy Adam 95 Robert. We're headed back towards Mill Creek. He's fleeing now.
The trooper was unfamiliar with the area and struggled to provide accurate location information to other units. However, he continued to follow the driver, determined to bring the chase to an end as quickly as possible. After the chase on the dirt road, the truck driver finally made it onto a main road, giving the trooper a better opportunity to take more control of the pursuit.
Around 75. Still using both sides of the road also. I'm on Mill Creek. I haven't crossed any side roads yet.
The truck driver decided to head back onto the dirt road again, but that wouldn't turn out to be the best idea. Stay tuned to see why.
Hot springs we just turned off. I'm not sure what the road is. Up there.
As the truck driver turned back onto the dirt road, he hit a hole in the road, deflating his tires, and this caused him to lose control of the truck, allowing the trooper to catch up and attempt a pit maneuver. However, the driver exited the vehicle and fled on foot. The trooper quickly caught up to him, deployed a taser, and stopped the driver. He was arrested and taken into custody, bringing the chase to an end. In 2024, Arkansas State Police attempted a simple traffic stop on a black Dodge Charger in Little Rock, but what started as a routine stop quickly turned into one of the most reckless pursuits of the year, with speeds reaching over 130 miles per hour. The driver, identified as DeAndre Lamar Lucky, stopped briefly beside the fuel pumps, before suddenly flooring it and fleeing west on Colonel Glenn Road. Within seconds, the trooper was in pursuit.
Adam 30 for that. Out east back on southbound on University.
Lucky lost control multiple times, weaving through traffic, passing cars on the shoulder, and ignoring every stop sign and red light in his path. As he made a sharp left onto the interstate ramp, the trooper used his front bumper to strike the Charger's tire and attempt to disable it.
Confirmed that he is reckless. We've clouded twice.
What's your 20?
Just got on I-30. He just went underneath the semi.
I-30 east or west?
Eastbound. We're continuing to approach Garrett Springs.
30 eastbound, Garrett Springs.
Subject bailed.
Lucky bailed out and ran across the interstate into a nearby apartment complex, forcing his way into a stranger's home while begging them not to call police. Moments later, troopers surrounded the building, entered the apartment, and arrested Lucky without further incident. Inside his vehicle, troopers found a loaded Glock handgun. Lucky was treated for a broken wrist and charged with multiple felonies. From a gas station stop to a crash under a semi-truck, this chase shows exactly how fast things can go from routine to out of control. On April 21st, 2025 in San Jose, California, just before 10 a.m., two armed men storm into the Diablo Valley Federal Credit Union in Concord. Within minutes, they rob the staff at gunpoint and take off, setting off a chain of events that would span multiple counties and end in gunfire. Concord police spot the suspect's getaway car and move in.
Hey! Let me see your hands! Hey! Hey, come back! Let me see your hands! Stop! Stop! Hey, are you okay? Mary 215. He's outbound.
The suspect carjacked a vehicle and took off before officers could react. Moments later, another unit spotted the stolen car, and the chase was on.
Lundy, southbound Lundy, occupied times 1. He's got a mask on. I couldn't really see if there was anybody else in the car, but it looks like he's solo. We're about 70 miles an hour. And I got one unit, 5 G's Concord, X20 behind me. I need, where's San Jose PD? Or Milpitas? Okay, blue the red light at Marietta, and we're okay back. We're just passing commercial. But he took Bayshore?
On North Bayshore, it looks like.
Okay, I got him. He's right, coming up over the freeway on Mulberry. Making a right turn on Mulberry Road. Wrong side of the road. Okay.
Yeah, guys on.
Just TC'd with somebody right in front of 880.
They're on the wrong side.
Suspect is, 2 suspects running.
The chase tears through the Bay Area all the way to San Jose, where the stolen car collides with another vehicle and dies on impact, and both suspects flee on foot. Officers pursue 29-year-old Cruz Vargas, who's armed with a fully automatic handgun, fitted with a high-capacity drum magazine.
Get on the ground now. Get on the ground now.
Vargas is taken into custody and treated for his injuries. The second suspect, 21-year-old Elijah Phillips, is captured nearby, still carrying the stolen cash. Investigators later learned Vargas was on parole for a prior carjacking, and Phillips had active warrants for domestic violence and theft. Both men are now charged with armed robbery, carjacking, and weapons violations. Get ready for a wild ride as the Florida Highway Patrol chases down a suspect facing multiple felony charges. Buckle up, because this pursuit is sure to keep you on the edge of your seat. The suspect was flying down the highway, driving recklessly at high speeds and showing a complete disregard for the safety of other drivers on the road. It was a dangerous game that put everyone at risk. The suspect swerved into oncoming traffic, speeding at alarming rates, making it nearly impossible for the troopers to close in. And recognizing the escalating danger, the lead trooper quickly informed other units about the pursuit and requested immediate assistance. This chase was turning into a serious and high-stakes situation. As the suspect blew through a red light, he collided with another vehicle, finally coming to a stop. 2 patrol cars quickly arrived on the scene and arrested the suspect, taking him into custody without further incident. This wild, high-speed chase came to an end. 2024, Trooper Jacob Bird was on patrol when a Dodge blasted past him at 100 miles per hour in the opposite direction. Bird didn't hesitate. He turned around, activated his lights and sirens, and attempted a traffic stop. But the driver had other plans. Instead of pulling over, he hit the gas, triggering yet another high-speed pursuit that Bird was more than ready for.
Dyer Springs reporting still.
Running.
We are north on Dyer Springs. Arkansas Outbreak, Tom 04 Mary. White Dodge. Still northbound Dyer Springs, number 69.
The blacked-out Charger was flying, blasting down the road like a ghost in the night. For a moment, it looked like he might actually pull away, but traffic ahead forced him to tap the brakes, just enough for Trooper Bird to close the distance. And when Bird gets close, the chase doesn't last much longer.
He's going the wrong way on University. Wrong way on University.
Hands! Hands!
Don't you move. University of Mapleville Pike. University of Mapleville Pike.
It's on my way.
University of Mapleville.
This chase was the perfect showcase of just how good Trooper Bird really is. When the suspect made the reckless decision to go head-on into traffic, Bird didn't hesitate. He sent the vehicle straight into a ditch, bringing the madness to an end. No one was hurt, and the suspect was arrested without further incident. Another textbook takedown. Another chase brought to a safe, successful close by Trooper Bird. On March 6, 2021, while on patrol in Fulton County, Trooper monitored traffic at Andrew Young International Boulevard and Centennial Olympic Park Drive. He heard a vehicle doing a burnout and confirmed it was a black and red Dodge Charger. Trooper activated his emergency lights as the Charger turned onto Centennial Olympic Park Drive. Despite other troopers blocking its path, the driver accelerated, fleeing up Lucky Street. Trooper notified Troop C Communications of the pursuit as they turned north onto Ted Turner Drive.
1080, 1080. You going 1050 right here. He just ran the car. He just ran the car.
Just turn on to Ivan Allen Jr. Boulevard. State Army just wrecked into a vehicle on Ivan Allen.
On your stomach. On your stomach. Hold up, stop.
The Dodge traveled into oncoming traffic and struck a vehicle stopped at the light, becoming disabled. Trooper exited the patrol car, drew his firearm, and ordered the driver out of the vehicle. The driver, identified as Jimmy Turner, was taken into custody without further incident. On June 6th, White Lake Township Police initiated a traffic stop near M59 and Fisk Road after a woman gave officers a fake name. While the officer ran the plate against the name, the driver, later identified as Mercedes Morris, attempted to flee the scene. As police discovered that Morris was wanted on multiple outstanding warrants, she sped off down M59, leading to a high-speed chase. Officers pursued her as she accelerated and continued evading capture.
She's running westbound 59. Approaching Taggart Lane.
Negative.
Someone westbound 59 running home.
She's got multiple warrants.
Morris was driving at high speeds, running red lights, and weaving in and out of traffic, showing a complete disregard for the safety of other drivers on the road. Her reckless driving made the pursuit even more dangerous as she continued to evade officers, putting everyone on the road at risk.
We got good play info.
Morris eventually lost control of her SUV and crashed into a utility pole along M59 and Ridge Road in Highland Township, knocking it down. Officers quickly surrounded the vehicle and took her into custody. In addition to her outstanding warrants and suspended license, Morris now faces charges of fleeing and eluding, along with several other offenses related to the pursuit. 2025, Marion County deputies tried pulling over a vehicle for illegal tint and tag violations. The driver acted like he was about to cooperate until he floored it. Just like that, a reckless decision turned into a full-blown pursuit and nearly got him shot.
Car! Give here! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Get out the car! Show me your hands! Get out the car! Get out the car! Get out the car! Get out the car! He just went through a fence. He's headed out the Silver Road.
After the suspect took off, it didn't take long for the deputy to close the gap and apply serious pressure, making it clear this chase wouldn't last long.
We're going northbound towards Maricamp. Man, we got 70 miles an hour, about to come out of Maricamp.
70 miles an hour,
He's driving pretty carelessly, would you advise if they want me to continue to Avenue Road?
The pit maneuver brought the suspect to a stop, but he made one last desperate attempt to flee, only to drive straight into a backyard with nowhere left to run. Deputies were right behind him, and they wasted no time ending it.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! White male, white beanie hat, gray shorts, black shirt, camo pants. Get on the ground! There's a canine over there waiting on you! Taser! Get on the face! Get down! Put your hands on your back. I got taser, I got it. No, I got it. Put your hands on your back. Run me over again. We don't do that in Marion County. I never seen someone act like you!
What started as a routine stop spiraled into pure chaos, mailboxes destroyed, fences shattered, and a 1-year-old child caught in the middle of it all. Jordan Shee didn't just put lives at risk. From endangering a toddler to fleeing while on probation, this chase wasn't just reckless, it was unforgivable. Now, with a mountain of charges and his past catching up fast, Shee is heading exactly where he belongs, back behind bars, where there's no more running and no more second chances. Off a retail heist. Let me tell you about October 4th, 2025. when 3 suspects decided Walmart was their personal shopping spree, minus the whole paying part. Hot Springs police were dispatched to Walmart for a theft in progress. Loss prevention reported a large quantity of merchandise being loaded into a black Dodge Charger by 3 suspects. Officers spotted the Charger and attempted a traffic stop, but surprised, the driver decided fleeing was the better option. The vehicle took off eastbound on the King Expressway with Arkansas State Police jumping in to assist. The chase continued until the Charger lost control and crashed on the expressway.
Crash.
Troopers detained passengers Jackson and Barry in the vehicle, but the driver, Hampton, bailed out on foot. But state police apprehended him a short time later. Inside the vehicle, troopers found all the stolen Walmart merchandise totaling $3,044.01. Loss prevention showed up to reclaim their goods like they were picking up a delivery. Kavana Kenterios Hampton, 25, of West Helena, Carly Faith Berry, 23, and Malachi Thomas Jackson, 22, both of Jacksonville, faced felony charges of organized retail theft and theft of property over $1,000, each punishable by up to 6 years in prison. But Hampton, he got the deluxe package: felony fleeing, up to 20 years, second-degree criminal mischief, up to 6 years, plus misdemeanors for no liability insurance, fictitious tags, and fleeing on foot. On September 30th, 2022, in Arkansas, the Arkansas State Police pulled over a driver for reckless driving, confirming by radar that he was exceeding the speed limit. It seemed like a routine traffic stop at first, but when troopers instructed him to step out of the vehicle, the driver suddenly hit the gas and fled the scene, initiating a high-speed pursuit. The driver of the Ford Mustang was speeding at over 150 miles per hour, making it extremely difficult for troopers to keep up. Despite calling for assistance, the Mustang evaded detection and eventually could not be spotted. With no way to catch up, the troopers had to cancel the pursuit. On the night of September 17, 2024, Florida Highway Patrol initiated a high-speed pursuit of 34-year-old Anthony Hoyt, who had active warrants for aggravated assault with a firearm from Atlanta, Georgia. The chase began after Hoyt fled a traffic stop on Interstate 4 in a gold Mercedes, reaching speeds over 130 miles per hour and putting other motorists at risk. The pursuit stretched across multiple counties as Hoyt drove recklessly, ignoring traffic signals and weaving through dense traffic at high speeds. His dangerous maneuvers put other drivers in immediate peril, but the Florida Highway Patrol remained in pursuit, coordinating with local law enforcement to bring the chase to a safe conclusion. The trooper had a clear opportunity to execute a pit maneuver, but he chose to hold back. Instead, they focused on trying to box the suspect in. However, with the suspect maintaining such a high rate of speed, this became far from an easy task. What do you think? Should the trooper have gone for the pit maneuver, or was it the right call to hold back? After several attempts to contain the suspect, Florida Highway Patrol successfully executed a pit maneuver in Orange County, bringing the vehicle to a halt. The driver, Anthony Hoyt, was arrested without further incident. Hoyt now faces multiple charges, including fleeing and eluding law enforcement, reckless driving, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and resisting an officer without violence. At the time of his arrest, Hoyt claimed he didn't realize law enforcement was trying to stop him. However, a search of his vehicle uncovered a handgun, which Hoyt admitted to owning. He was booked into Orange County Jail, where extradition proceedings for his Georgia warrant are currently underway.
He's coming to carjack a Corvette. Black male, blue shirt, blue jeans.
Rocky, can you get up there?
Many people like to sit at home and play video games, but this suspect in Pinellas County decided to play it for real. On March 6th, 2022, deputies were called to a fight at the Dundon Cove Motel. They discovered that 27-year-old Kenneth Lunford had gotten into an altercation with another man over a drug deal, then stole the man's car and fled the scene.
All right, he's over the wrong side of the road coming up to West Bay on Clearwater Largo. He's got a red light. All right, he ran the red light. I think he just signaled forward into this van. He's now westbound on West Bay.
I think the driver door keeps coming open. It is. It's flapping open.
All right, passing under the Pinellas Trail. He's bobbing and weaving through traffic. He's on the brakes, up on the sidewalk now to pass a car.
Car 48 Eagle. He's all alone. No one's pushing him that far.
No, nobody. I can't see anybody around him, but he is extremely dangerous. Just ran the red light at Gulf, southbound Gulf Boulevard.
At this point, the suspect's driving was nothing short of reckless and crazy, but what he was about to do next, that was on a whole different level.
Going down at 18th. Looks like he's going to bail at 18th. He's coming to carjack a Corvette. Black male, blue shirt, blue jeans.
Rocky, can you get up there?
All right, that car just sped off. He's back in his red car, taking off, southbound Gulf Boulevard. On high rate of speed, coming up to 5th. Just ran the red light at 5th. This guy has no regard for anybody else on the road. On the pedestrian path, just signal forward in front of Krabby Bill's 4th Avenue. Out of the car, running southbound. He's trying to carjack another Mustang, a black Mustang.
Sorry, I'm getting a little amped up here.
You're good. All right, he just carjacked this Mustang. Taking off in a black convertible Mustang, southbound on Gulf Boulevard.
Wow, this suspect is totally out of his mind. After failing to carjack a white Corvette, he ran a red light and crashed into a Mustang. But that wasn't the end. He carjacked the Mustang seconds after the crash and kept fleeing.
Avenue, all right, going the wrong way on the one-way street on 1st Street. He's fishtailing, he doesn't have that tire. All right, coming back out to Gulf. I think he just sideswiped 2 more cars on the bike path.
We got 2 trucks down here.
Guys, please give me the radio. He's on the bike path on the wrong side of the road, back over to the right side of the road, southbound. He's still southbound, he's all over the road. All right, just hit the Marine unit. Now he's fishtailing. He's continuing southbound. All right, just sideswiped another car. I'm not sure if that was a cruiser. Still southbound. All right, he just signaled forward. Ooh. He's all over the place. He's hitting the fence. He's down 19925 Gulf Boulevard. He's on the south side of the building, driving to the east. He's around the back now, driving north. All right, just hit the fence, going through another fence to the next property to the north. All right, he's out of the vehicle. I think he's running northbound.
After causing complete chaos, the suspect finally came to a stop, but fled on foot. However, with helicopter assistance tracking his every move, his end was closer than ever.
Some civilians involved. He's in the water. He's swimming eastbound. All right, we've got deputies challenging from the dock.
By the time it was over, Lunford had racked up a staggering 31 total charges, including leaving the scene of a crash with property damage, DUI with property damage, fleeing and eluding carjacking, attempted carjacking, resisting an officer with violence, and robbery by sudden snatching.
Left shoulder, he's at the left curb, he's on the sidewalk.
On September 13th, 2024, Wyandotte police officer Alex Stathakis attempted to stop a speeding vehicle driven by 2 criminals with a long history of victimizing society. The suspects, failing to yield to emergency lights and sirens, prompted Officer Stathakis to give chase. As the pursuit unfolded, Officer Stathakis quickly notified other officers to assist.
We're going to be to the green light at Southfield, coming up to heavy traffic. Speed 70. We're at the red light at O'Connor. Heavy traffic. He's going to be leaving through traffic at the red light. All cars are stopped. He's going to stop. Cars will be... He's going to be taken back off through O'Connor at the green light. You've honestly hit a couple cars at the red light at O'Connor. He's going to be going through the construction zone, speed 50. He's going to be in the turn lane. He's going to continue green light at Outer Drive. Heavy traffic. He may be blocked in here. He's going to squeeze in traffic through Outer Drive. Northbound.
The chase almost came to an end twice during the pursuit. First, the suspects slowed down at a traffic light, then again in a construction zone where heavy traffic seemed to have them boxed in. The officer saw these as critical opportunities to bring the chase to a halt, but the suspects managed to weave through, narrowly escaping each time. The officer, frustrated but determined, knew the longer this went on, the more dangerous it became. As they finally cleared the construction zone, the suspects ramped up their reckless driving, speeding at high velocities once again. After 10 long minutes, Officer Stathakis was right on their tail once again.
Turning westbound Clark through the red light. We're going to be northbound on, I think, a 75 Service Drive. We're going to be 75 north. Speed 50 on the entrance drive on the 75 north. Traffic's going to be decent on the freeway. Speeds are 70. He's just cutting over all the way to the left-hand lane. Red light. Left shoulder. He's at the left curb. He's on the sidewalk. He's going to be...
As the suspects continued their reckless flight through downtown, the streets became saturated with law enforcement officers. With so many units now in position, it was clear that this was the best chance to bring the pursuit to an end once and for all. Officers coordinated their movements, and the moment had come to put an end to the dangerous chase, ensuring these suspects would not escape again.
30 through Clinton on Chrysler Freeway coming up. Looks like we're going to be near Division 1. We're on the side street, right outside Division 1. 810. 72, make 5. Cars will be stopped.
The chase stretched across 3 cities before finally coming to a stop on Macomb Street near Greektown. The suspects, realizing the end was near, locked themselves inside the vehicle. Officers quickly responded by smashing the window to gain access. It was soon revealed that the driver was a wanted fugitive with 6 active warrants, while the passenger was a parole absconder, having been previously released from prison for armed robbery. To make matters worse, the vehicle was stolen, and both suspects were in possession of a dangerous stash: crack cocaine, crystal meth, and heroin. Thanks to the tireless efforts of the officers, this dangerous duo was brought to justice.
Wait, from Galena! Stop!
On December 26, 2023, a Wauwatosa police officer spotted a gray sedan and a gray Kia Soul, both suspected to be stolen. As the officer gave chase, the 2 vehicles stuck together for several blocks before the sedan managed to break away, leaving only the Kia in pursuit.
ABW 447, ABW 447, take it off. Northbound on 60th and Clark. I'm in pursuit. 70 possible vehicle on the 60th. North the center. Eastbound on center. Southeast on Lisbon, right behind it. Speeds at 30 miles an hour. Stolen vehicle, southeast on Lisbon. Speeds at 50 miles per hour. Just sold. ABW 4247. Southeast on Lisbon, path 56. 60 miles an hour. We'll do a red and 55th, southbound of 55th. Again, two vehicles together. Other vehicles, ARC 7443. ARC 7443. Eastbound.
After the two vehicles split up and went their separate ways, the officer had to make a quick decision, stick with the Kia or go after the sedan. The officer chose to pursue the Kia, while other units in the area attempted to locate and stop the second suspect.
5-4. Southbound on 5-4 down the wrong way. Combined. I'm right on it. Southbound on 5-4 coming up the top. I believe this is Washington Boulevard. Yep, Washington Boulevard southbound and southbound past Washington Boulevard speeds at 50 miles an hour, no traffic. Coming up on Bolite. Or westbound on Bolite. Westbound on Bolite from disregard. Southbound on 5-4 from Bolite. Southbound 5-4 from Bolite. 40 miles an hour. Autos with police in pursuit of a suspected stolen vehicle. Alright, we're at McKinley. Westbound on McKinley 5-4. I'm right on it. Right on it. Westbound passing 5 and McKinley. Southbound on 5-5 from McKinley.
The officer stayed right on the suspect's tail, and it was clear the pressure was starting to get to him. The suspect's driving became even more erratic, making reckless turns, nearly clipping other vehicles and taking risks that made no sense.
Come to a stop, coming to a stop. We're pulling into a parking lot. Pulling into a parking lot. No one parking lot, but 5-3 and Martin. The eastbound to this parking lot. To a park. I don't know what park this is, but you can assume we're heading out back out to Bolite, it looks like.
Ashton, Wickfield.
Then we're coming back out to Bolite, northbound. On 5-2 from Bolite, northbound 5-2 from Bolite, still on them, you know. Coming up on Washington Boulevard, now eastbound on Washington Boulevard. Eastbound Washington Boulevard from 5-1, all goes to police in pursuit of it. 45 miles per hour, zero traffic. Running around Washington Park. Lose control. What to correct? Lost control, but regained control, still good.
The suspect's reckless driving finally caught up with him. A deflated tire forced him to slow down, and before long he came to a complete stop. But the chase wasn't over yet. He bailed out of the vehicle and took off on foot.
Hands up! Hands up! From pursuit northbound, 40 through Galena. Stop! Stop! Hey! Northbound from Galena. Stop! Eastbound. Stop, you're getting tased! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Do not move! Get on the ground!
Wait, okay.
Won't you get on the ground?
Wait, can I go?
Get on the ground. Get on the ground right now. Get on the ground!
Tajami Towns Henderson continued to ignore commands, prompting an officer to deploy a taser. After a tense arrest, the criminal complaint reveals Towns Henderson admitted to breaking into and stealing the Kia. She told police she was homeless and used stolen vehicles to get around and sleep in. Court records show she's scheduled to appear in court for a preliminary hearing on January 8th.
What's the location of your emergency?
I'm actually calling for a friend. I'm down the street from her house. She lives on Shady Wood. Her and her daughter are there. They're in danger. This guy, he's threatening to kill her.
On January 27th in Lathrop, California, officers responded to a domestic violence call on Shady Wood Avenue. The suspect, 40-year-old Juan Valdez, wanted for a domestic violence incident, fled the scene, initiating a vehicle pursuit with the Lathrop police.
Hey, does John have any weapons right now?
No, well, yeah, there's probably knives and stuff in the house.
Does John carry a gun? Hey, John. What's going on right now?
He will fight back. Be careful.
Hey, Tino, stop that car if he takes off.
The suspect initially came to a stop but was uncooperative, refusing to exit his vehicle despite officers' commands. Shortly after, he fled the scene again, prompting the continuation of the pursuit.
And stand by for the next turn. We're going to go westbound on Rock. And he's going the wrong way for a second here.
Copy westbound Rock, and we have the unit at Bell 21.
Try to 245 Boy 13 with this vehicle. We're going to be on southbound 5 on-ramp from Rock Road.
Copy southbound I-5 from Rock.
Boy 13, his tire's coming apart.
Copy, tire coming apart.
The suspect's vehicle was eventually brought to a stop after officers deployed spike strips, destroying the tires. However, the chaos didn't end there. The suspect exited his vehicle and attempted to hijack another vehicle in a desperate bid to continue fleeing. Check it out.
Across towards the meeting, trying to carjack somebody.
I copy, he's booked in a lane and there's units covering once the DMV.
Valdez then attempted to carjack a vehicle on Interstate 5. He can be seen clinging to the victim's vehicle window as it moved down the road. The victim eventually stopped on the interstate shoulder, and Valdez tried to enter the car through the passenger door. At this moment, an officer discharged their firearm, firing 2 shots at Valdez.
Shot, dude! Hey, you're gonna get shot! Fire, shots fired. Don't move! Sir. Don't move! Behind your back.
Valdez was transported to the hospital for treatment before being booked into the San Joaquin County Jail. He faces charges including carjacking, false imprisonment, and resisting arrest. On November the 11th, 2023, while patrolling the area of Northwest Street and Michigan Avenue, an officer observed a gray Lincoln SUV speeding at 59 miles per hour in a 40 miles per hour zone, weaving dangerously through traffic without signaling. The officer initiated a pursuit after the suspect abruptly accelerated and began a reckless escape through busy streets.
That's dead end. I guess might help.
Hello,
The suspect's complete disregard for public safety escalated the danger as he swerved through intersections and made erratic turns. After fleeing through residential neighborhoods at high speed, the suspect transitioned back onto city streets, continuing his dangerous and erratic driving. And the chase came to an end when the suspect lost control, veered off the roadway into thick vegetation, and attempted to regain control. The officer executed a pit maneuver, forcing the vehicle into an empty parking lot. As the suspect's SUV collided with a set of metal gates, he abandoned the vehicle and fled on foot. Officers described the suspect as a black male wearing a black shirt and red pants, fleeing eastward into the surrounding area. The suspect was apprehended shortly after and charged with multiple offenses, including fleeing law enforcement, reckless driving, driving while license suspended, resisting arrest without violence, and possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. Tulsa police have released new dashcam footage capturing a shocking moment: an officer texting while driving just seconds before being involved in a crash.
Call 911. If you wish to cancel the call, please hold the phone button. The 911 assist call is being placed. Sync will speak first to the 911 operator before opening the line. Please wait.
Fortunately, neither the officer nor the other driver sustained injuries after the crash. According to police, the other driver was at fault, having crossed the median and collided with the patrol car. Police were searching for 3 men who attempted to steal approximately $5,000 worth of merchandise from Home Depot on Wednesday afternoon. The incident occurred around 3:45 p.m. in the back parking lot of the Home Depot. 5 men loaded 2 cars with stolen goods when they were interrupted by Home Depot employees. The employees immediately called police upon noticing the theft. Suspects then began fleeing, and the officers were already there, and the pursuit ensued.
2010, we got 2 pursuits going on. I'm chasing one northbound down Dave Memorial. On foot, and I got 2 vehicles running. One I'm chasing, Henry Victor X-Ray 4968. Pulled in behind Sam. I wanted to throw myself in a weather hour too.
Just as the suspects exited the parking lot, one of their getaway vehicles lost a tire, causing the vehicle to become immobile. Forced to abandon the car, the suspects fled on foot. Officers quickly pursued them through the area, continuing the chase.
Okay, so you're going to have one
northbound.
Up there in northbound on 45, coming up from Heinz here.
Henry Victor X-Ray 49. 2013, got 2 others.
Behind the vehicle, and here's the male.
The chase ended with Darrell Lee, 20, and Devonna Lee, 17, arrested after a brief foot pursuit. They were charged with felony theft, and Darrell also faces felony evading arrest. The third suspect's car was later found abandoned near a construction site, but the remaining thieves, including the driver, are still at large. The stolen merchandise was returned to Home Depot. In Gaithersburg, Maryland, on May 20th, 2023, officers responded to a welfare check where they found a lone driver who appeared intoxicated with a gun on his lap. As they attempted to prevent him from leaving, the suspect put the car in drive and took off, sparking a high-risk pursuit. With a firearm in play and impaired judgment, this situation had all the makings of a dangerous showdown.
Armed with handgun, rammed cruiser, and his DUI at 5-3. open.
He's on the run tag. We're approaching Montgomery Ave.
Approaching Montgomery Ave.
While fleeing on Interstate 270, the suspect attempted to change lanes when suddenly something happened that none of the officers expected.
Crash.
Oh. Bail out. Crash.
Let me see your heads! Let me see your heads! Oh, he ejected.
The suspect lost control and crashed south of Route 28, resulting in a violent collision. The impact ejected the driver from the vehicle, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Officials later identified him as 37-year-old Lawrence White of Washington, D.C. The crash also involved other vehicles, leaving 2 adults in a separate car injured. They were transported to a nearby hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Put on the brakes! Stop the car!
On March 5th, 2021, Carroll police officer Patrick McCarty spotted Dennis Guider Jr. in the passenger seat of a vehicle at a restaurant drive-thru. Officer McCarty stopped the car and informed Guider he was being arrested for a forgery case out of Illinois. When asked to step out, Guider shoved the female driver out of the way and tried to flee in the car.
Why don't you step out of the car until we can identify you? You got anything on your person, man? You got anything on you? Any weapons or anything like that? What's up? Awesome. Okay, go ahead and step out. Hello? Go and step out, man. Yeah, reach. Unbuckle your seatbelt and step out of the vehicle. Yeah, what's up? Stop the car, man! Stop the car! Stop the car! Stop the car!
Officer McCarty ended up on the hood as Guider sped off.
Goddamn brakes! Put on the brakes! Put on the brakes! Stop the car! Stop the car, man! Jesus Christ! Stop the car, man!
The suspect drove erratically with the officer still hanging on top of his car, accelerating to speeds of over 60 miles per hour. The suspect struck a culvert, throwing Officer McCarty off the vehicle. The officer suffered a broken vertebra in his back, but was treated at St. Anthony Regional Hospital and released the same day. Guider fled the scene, later stealing another vehicle in Chicago Heights, Illinois. He was apprehended and sentenced to up to 5 years in prison, to be served separately from his previous sentence for parole violations related to burglary and fraud. 2023, Georgia State Patrol joined a rapidly evolving pursuit just outside Savannah. Chatham County officers had attempted to stop a white Nissan Murano with a shattered rear window, but the driver wasn't stopping for anyone. She tore through residential neighborhoods, drove through a backyard, and fled into traffic. When troopers caught up, it was clear this wasn't going to end with a simple citation.
538, I'll be 1080. Georgia 204, Grove Point Road. It's a white Nissan Murano. Tall Madam John 712 TAJ 712. Just ran from Chatham. This vehicle just 1080 from Chatham.
Did you initiate?
Break your
We're 1080. Don't worry about who initiated. We're trying to chase this car right now. Go. Okay. Get some support. Hold on. Just let it go for a second. We want to get a little bit more speed before we try to hit this thing.
With I-95 approaching, an area known for heavy traffic and nearby homeless encampments, troopers knew they had to act.
Hold on. Stop. Slow down. Don't get past. Okay, go. Get on the side. We're setting up the pit. 204 eastbound. Hit it. There you go. Hit it. Slow down. Okay, hold on. Get in the middle of the road.
A pit maneuver was attempted, but the SUV slipped off the bumper, swerving uncontrollably before slamming into a concrete barrier. The impact launched the vehicle into a rollover. The driver, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was ejected and left motionless in the roadway. First responders rushed to the scene, and the 41-year-old Amy Humans Paget was still breathing when medics arrived. Despite efforts to stabilize her, she later died from her injuries at the hospital. Her decision to run turned deadly, serving as a tragic reminder of how quickly high-speed chases can spiral beyond control. In 2022, when a simple traffic stop turned into a full-blown high-speed roller coaster. Troopers tried to pull over a driver later identified as Lancaster, but instead of stopping, he hit the gas, and I mean really hit it. Moments later, he was flying down Interstate 530 at over 140 miles per hour. That's about double the speed of a NASCAR pace lap. The video shows one trooper blocking the road while another accidentally crashed right into Lancaster's car. A rough landing, but mission accomplished. Inside the vehicle, trooper found a gym bag with men's clothes and 4 unopened beers, which might just explain the confidence behind those 140 miles per hour lane changes. Lancaster was treated for minor injuries, then taken into custody. He now faces charges including felony fleeing, reckless driving, speeding, and underage possession of alcohol. 2021, an FHP trooper had just finished working a crash on the Interstate 75 southbound ramp when a bolo alert came across the radio. A stolen vehicle was on the move. Within minutes, the trooper spotted it, overtaking the car a few miles down the interstate. Joined by 2 more units, they moved in for a stop. But instead, the suspect hit the gas, and the encounter exploded into a full-blown pursuit. The trooper stayed locked on the suspect, never letting him out of sight. Ahead, the driver swerved recklessly from lane to lane, even cutting across the median when traffic boxed him in. But instead of forcing the move alone, the trooper held back, waiting for backup, knowing patience would bring the right moment to shut the chase down.
45, traffic light, 100 miles per hour. Can you advise others?
With every passing second, the suspect's driving grew more dangerous. That's when the trooper made the call to go for a pit. As another patrol unit closed in, the two worked together, setting up the maneuver that would finally bring the chase to its breaking point.
And I would say it over so that one of the driver has helpful. Mailbox 140, west on Fairmont Parkway. Right now, to the left of I-75, you have to pick up palm trees, he's in the grass, possible bailout.
The suspect, identified as 22-year-old Anthony Seibert, bailed from the car and tried to run, but the foot chase was short-lived. He was quickly taken into custody without further incident. Seibert now faces charges of grand theft of a motor vehicle, reckless driving, fleeing, and driving with a suspended license. His run brought to an end both on the road and in the courtroom. 18th, 2022, ATF agents and local officers were in a standoff with a driver tied to drug and weapon charges, but he wasn't going down easy. After struggling to stop him, they called in backup. That's when Trooper James Bird stepped in, and the moment he joined the pursuit, everything changed.
I'm directly behind the suspect vehicle this time. And traffic. They're throwing stuff out the window. 19. I got semis around me right now. I am lead.
What's your speed as we turn?
82 miles an hour. Running 85 mile an hour in the left lane. 85 mile an hour in the left lane.
Even though the driver kept gesturing like he was about to pull over, Trooper Bird had seen enough of these games to know better. The chase had been dragging on for a while, and Bird wasn't buying it for a second.
Tractor trailers. Miles an hour, still northbound. Right lane, still busy, tractor trailers. I'm in the left lane, 90 miles an hour. Hit. I think they're still going to try to go.
Trooper James Bird showed everyone exactly how it's done. The suspect learned the hard way why running from the Arkansas State Police is never a smart move. To make matters worse, he had his own kids in the car during the pursuit. Thankfully, the chase ended without further incident. He was arrested on the spot, and no additional information has been released. On May 14, 2024, Arkansas State Troopers were locked in a high-speed pursuit of a Mercedes pushing 150 miles per hour. With danger escalating, backup was called. That's when Trooper Trey Davis joined the chase, taking over as the primary unit.
Come on, guy.
They're taking the four? Taking the four? Taking the four? Eastbound on Curve West. Eastbound Curve West.
As Trooper Davis took over the pursuit, the suspect was still flying, going around 100 miles per hour. But things got riskier fast when the driver veered into a residential area, still pushing over 70 miles per hour.
We're actually going to go northbound on Ludwig. I believe this is northbound Ludwig. Sorry, it's Malloy. Eastbound on 42nd. Eastbound 42nd. Northbound Ludwig. Northbound Ludwig. East on 40th. Northbound Barrow. On Barrow. They might have just called something at the intersection of Barrow and Ludwig. Possibly called something at Barrow and Ludwig. TVI 36 Ludwig. TVI 36 Ludwig.
After a successful second pit, the suspect bailed out and fled on foot, but he didn't get far. Trooper Davis deployed his taser, bringing the chase to an end. The driver was arrested and taken into custody. In Wisconsin, on August 6, 2021, a Fond du Lac sheriff's deputy conducted a traffic stop when they detected the odor of drugs. The 29-year-old Illinois man behind the wheel refused to exit the vehicle and instead sped off, initiating a high-speed pursuit.
Correction, northbound on D, turning on to Rolling. Corrections continuing, red light, wiped out 1050, Sergeant Ambulance, roll over.
What is your location?
D and Pioneer, correction, Rolling Meadows.
Copy, Rolling Meadows and Pioneer.
As soon as the suspect fled, he lost control at the intersection, crashing immediately. He was taken into custody without further incident. A search revealed he had approximately half a pound of suspected cocaine and 1 pound of suspected ecstasy. He was booked into the Fond du Lac County Jail on charges of eluding, first offense OWI, and drug possession with intent to deliver. 23 in Chatham County, Georgia, when a simple speeding violation on Liberty Parkway quickly spiraled into something far more dangerous, when the driver of a gray Ford Escape, later identified as Yolanda Irvine, refused to stop. What started at 54 miles per hour in a 35 zone would escalate into a reckless pursuit across the county. Instead of pulling over, Irvine hit the gas.
Going in Tremont, so close. I got you. Bringing it. Sam Adam Lincoln 0636. That's Sam 0636. We're on Tremont Road now, passing LIN. Just you gotta be careful when you're in the Yes, I'm setting 3,000, 1080. Slow down. There's a sharp curve up here. Yes, watch out for these cars. Watch out for these cars. Oh.
The chase poured onto I-516, where Irvine floored the Escape past 100 miles an hour. She blew through stop signs, rode the wrong side of the road, and even launched over concrete curbs. Each mile, the SUV became less a vehicle and more a missile, cutting through traffic and threatening everyone in its path.
Ring it. He just go. All right, go. 1050, ring it. All right. Try and come on. Wait for the cars. All right, try. Get up there. Oh, all right, go. You got it. Stop. Oh, don't hit the curb. Hit him.
Backup was nowhere close, stop sticks weren't an option, and boxing her in was impossible. It was just one patrol car against a fleeing suspect who showed no fear of consequences. The only choice left was a pit maneuver.
Ring it. Overturn 1050. Stop.
See hands! Put your hands out the window! Put your hands out the window now! Get your hands out the window now! Get your hands out the window!
The Ford Escape snapped sideways, careened across the lanes, and rolled violently before slamming into a guardrail. Inside the wreck, Irvin lay unconscious. Airbags deployed, the smell of alcohol heavy in the air. She eventually came to, slurring her words, dismissing the pursuit as not a big deal. At the hospital, she faked pregnancy, staged a fall, and even pretended to vomit to avoid jail, but none of it worked. She was transported to the Chatham County Detention Center, charged with DUI, fleeing, and a long list of reckless offenses. 4. When a silver Land Rover SUV was clocked at 72 miles per hour in a 50 zone. Normally, that's a hefty fine. But this wasn't just any speeding stop. It was a construction zone with workers present. And when Trooper Acass lit him up, the driver made a decision that would take this traffic stop from bad to downright reckless. Instead of pulling over, the driver slid past multiple exits and shoulders, crossing the river bridge with nowhere safe to stop. By the time he hit Broadway, it was clear that this was a pursuit.
Just before the sign. Approaching the 40 split. Taking 107 exit.
Taking your exit.
Trooper Cass tried to shut it down with a tactical vehicle intervention, but the suspect fought out of it. Then came the move that nearly turned deadly. The driver whipped his SUV the wrong way down the exit ramp and charged head-on into oncoming traffic.
44, do not let them get on the wrong way on their side.
We're already on.
Get it stopped,
Other person hit. Got me a head! Put your hands up!
The Land Rover smashed into an innocent driver and tried to keep going, wheels spinning against metal. When the suspect was pulled out, the danger wasn't just reckless driving. Troopers smelled alcohol. Inside the Land Rover, Trooper found multiple open containers and a half-finished drink in the console. The driver was arrested and charged with a laundry list of crimes, including felony fleeing, DWI, reckless driving, no insurance, even endangering the welfare of a minor. Luckily, the innocent driver suffered only minor injuries, but I really want to know, what do you think about that decision to end the chase there, and how would you react if you were trooper in that situation? 25. On Highway 167, what began as a Hampton police pursuit of a white Ram pickup spilled across county lines. Speeds climbed, traffic thickened, and Arkansas State Police closed in to take control. As the chase pressed south into Union County, a trooper assumed primary pursuit. The trooper closed in and wasted no time, executing a pit at 80 miles per hour. It was another clear display of just how skilled Arkansas State troopers are. With the truck shoved into the ditch, officers moved in, surrounding the vehicle and arresting the driver without further incident. The driver, identified as Katie McMahon, was taken into custody without further incident. Inside the pickup, officers found an open container of alcohol. McMahon refused sobriety tests and was booked into the Calhoun County Detention Center on multiple charges. In the early morning hours of July 25, 2024, an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper spotted a Ford Mustang going 92 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. When the trooper attempted to pull the vehicle over, the driver refused to stop and quickly accelerated, reaching a top speed of 122 miles per hour. The trooper activated his lights and sirens, but the Mustang sped off. The trooper managed to close the gap, but the driver showed no signs of slowing down.
It's like at the center. Hurry back there.
Mustang exited onto Cincinnati-Dayton Road, heading into Westchester Township. The vehicle blew through multiple red lights, putting other drivers at risk. Westchester police units joined the chase as the Mustang eventually re-entered the highway.
Is it active construction?
Right.
The suspect exited the highway once again, now fleeing on city streets, ignoring all traffic signs. The driver's reckless behavior put everyone at risk, and it became clear this pursuit couldn't go on much longer. Law enforcement knew swift action was needed to prevent a serious accident and ensure public safety.
Turn right on Seymour Ave.
Are you on city street now?
Right.
Okay, what's your speed?
60. Shark, check 5-foot valve.
Where is he in?
Right, footbell, 726, say more. 726, say more.
By the time the trooper finally caught up to the car, everyone inside had disappeared. However, law enforcement quickly set up a perimeter, and it wasn't long before officers managed to apprehend one of the individuals they believed was in the vehicle.
Don't even think about it. Sit down. Where's your friends at?
I don't know.
What you mean you don't know?
I literally don't.
You literally don't.
Hopped out the car, went black.
Went black? Stand up.
Where's the other dude that was in
Stand up.
There was nobody else in here.
They're checking bathrooms.
Just him, I see you. Okay.
1673. How many do you have eyes? I got one.
The Ohio State Highway Patrol confirmed that the car was originally reported stolen. A 16-year-old passenger was arrested and charged with receiving stolen property. Authorities are still searching for the 3 other individuals who were inside the vehicle, including the driver. The OSHP's Lebanon Post is continuing its investigation into the pursuit. On Tuesday, October 8, 2024, around 12:58 p.m., a trooper was in the parking lot of York Girls Drasco Cafe when he spotted a white Ford Expedition with Arkansas plate. After running the plate, it returned as belonging to a different vehicle, a pewter 2000 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. The trooper got behind the vehicle, activated his lights, and attempted a traffic stop. The vehicle circled the cafe, then headed northbound on State Highway 25 toward Concord, AR. The trooper activated his siren, but the driver continued to flee. The driver was driving erratically throughout the pursuit, veering into oncoming traffic multiple times and nearly colliding with other vehicles. Due to the immediate danger posed, the trooper decided to execute a pit maneuver at the earliest safe opportunity. After each pit maneuver, the suspect continued to flee, but finally, after multiple attempts, the driver came to a stop and surrendered. The trooper exited his patrol car, arrested the suspect, and took them into custody without further incident. In the quiet Ico area of Grant County, just another routine traffic stop. But when 31-year-old Carlos Smith, who is also national fugitive, hit the gas, it turned into a multi-agency pursuit, stretching across counties. Smith, wanted in multiple states, led troopers on a high-speed chase, pushing over 90 miles per hour.
Shoulder. Got some semis up here. Got lots of other ways past the turn lane now.
As the chase progressed, it was clear this wasn't just about speeding. The suspect, desperate to avoid capture, was creating chaos by the second. What made it even more insane, he'd already lost a tire early on, but somehow kept driving like a maniac, completely unpredictable and dangerously out of control.
Back to the business route. Southbound 167 business.
Just back there passing Vine Street, still southbound.
Oh, they have the radio. Still traveling southbound, 167.
Spikes are successful. Spikes are successful.
Very kind of much on it. At Oklahoma. Green sample. You can mark on
Really back.
The chaos finally ended on Oklahoma Street in Sheridan. With spike strips and coordinated maneuvers, officers boxed him in and brought the pursuit to a close. But it came at a cost. 6 vehicles were damaged, including 3 from Sheridan PD and a city unit. Carlos Smith, already wanted in multiple states, now faces a brand new stack of charges courtesy of the Arkansas State Police. But after the stunt he pulled, he's not going anywhere for a long time.